What is up, YouTube? This is Terminator Juice. In today's video, I want to talk about something related to E3, but I'm not going to do what everyone's doing right now, is giving their thoughts and predictions on E3 2014, and I will comment real quick on Nintendo's plans for E3. I think it's fine. I have no problem with anything they're doing. I'm actually looking forward to the Smash tournament and the live treehouse more than I've ever been looking forward to any live press conference or anything. Plus the digital event, which we don't know exactly what that is, but if you go by the last 3 Nintendo Directs, if it's anything like that with multiple games, it's going to be great. You know, the last year one lacked any kind of pizzazz or any quality presentation. It was just Iwata talking, 2.5 minute trailer. Iwata talking, two and a half minute trailer. While that was fine for a diehard Nintendo fan like myself, seeing these games for the first time, for a lot of people, I understand it left something to be desired. But like I said, if you've seen the last 3 Nintendo Directs, if they take that approach, that style with some humor and some, good production value, and I'm really looking forward to the digital event. And it's on a little bit later. The last year one was on way early. And this one starts at 9 Pacific time, and which is noon Eastern time where I live. So it's perfect. I'm on lunch at work, and it's gonna be great. And like I said, the Smash tournament, and I'm just really looking forward to the whole thing. I have no complaints. I don't know why people are so upset. Gamers like myself, I don't understand why they have any reason to be upset. Everything's gonna be catered to us sitting here at our computers watching it, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, with that out of the way, the main topic of this video is something I was thinking about earlier today while I was at work. I was on my break, wink wink, online looking at some stuff, and it just got me thinking, especially with last year, with Titanfall being pretty much the game of the show just by almost everybody. Adam Sessler was basically promoting that game like he was a freaking paid publicist, and just people were just they had such big boners for that game. And then Infamous Second Son was probably second place. And then you look at E3 2012, and it was that Watch Dogs demo that got everyone super excited. The Last of Us demo just left people, their jaws on the floor, and it was, just super hyped. 2011 had BioShock Infinite. People couldn't even believe that was going to end up being the game, and it turns out that wasn't all that shown, wasn't the game at all. Like, that was what they were hoping to achieve. So that was just basically a bunch of BS, but they pretty much pulled it off, which you got to give them credit. But what they showed at the time that got everybody excited, they had not programmed for. That game was not to that point, not even close. If you listen to Ken Levine's interviews, he even admits that. So all these games were just super hyped, E3 game of show, if you want to call that. I don't get caught up in that bullshit, but yeah, you look at those games, they were very hyped up. They showed amazing demos from the first time you saw the game. They set the bar really high, but look at it the next time they saw the game, just more of the same. It wasn't an improvement in any way. In some cases, the game looked worse. And then, later down the line, they showed those games again, and it's like, okay, this looks, good, but it's not what I remember seeing on that first time. And the hype was still there, but it was definitely going in the wrong direction. And I just kind of wanted to compare the sales of those games that have been released with all that hype and all that promotion surrounding the E3, and lots of advertising behind it. Look at the sales, and then compare that to a couple of games that basically came out of E3 and hardly anybody was talking about it, and how those games have sold, and how hyped up those games ended up getting. So let's start with the first one, BioShock Infinite in 2011. It didn't come out till early 2013, which was kind of a bummer. I think it killed a lot of people's buzz once that game was delayed past Christmas. You're looking at an install base of 160 million plus PC. Who knows what that number truly is. The game comes out and it sells 3.46 million according to VG Charts. All these numbers will be VG Charts. I know it's not 100% accurate. It doesn't count downloads and all that, but it gets us close for the sake of argument. All the numbers we pulled from the same source. So you're looking at 3.46 million out of an install base of 160 million plus, and game that was super hyped at E3, got great reviews, but didn't set the world on fire when it came to sales. Then you move to the next year, you got The Last of Us, just really blew people away. That was another one where the AI was shown way superior to the actual finished product, but each time they showed the game, you were like, yeah, it looks good, but it wasn't better than your first time seeing it. It's almost like back in the day on Facebook when I was young and you put your best picture as your profile pic, and some people still do that. Now I don't care at my age, I don't really care, but people put their best picture that they'd never look that good ever in their life, but somehow a camera just captured them right at the right moment. And then you go meet somebody, like, it wasn't quite a dating service, but there's people that I know that went out and met people off the internet. And if they put this awesome picture on there, but the realization was when you saw them that they didn't look anywhere near that good, but they still might have been attractive people, but they just misrepresented themselves. And when you first saw them, this happened to me one time, happened to a buddy of mine like 2 or 3 times back when we were like 19, 20, back when the internet was just still in its early stages. Not to get off subject, but this kind of compares to the first time you saw BioShock Infinite or The Last of Us or Watch Dogs, and then the next time you saw it, you were like, it looks good, but it's not as good as I remember. So let's look at The Last of Us sales. And it's just on the PS3 at this point. It hasn't released on the PS4 with an install base just over 80 million. The game sold 4.49 million, which is good sales numbers, especially for an M-rated game, a new IP, taking a little risk with the story and stuff. Pretty good sales, but not GTA 5 sales, not Call of Duty sales. So as hyped up as the game was, and we're at over a year since it released, or right around a year, so PS3 sales are done. It's not going to sell anymore. PS4, it might get a little resurgence, but those numbers are pretty much final. Same with BioShock Infinite. That game's not going to sell anymore. And then move on to Titanfall. Since Watch Dogs hasn't come out yet, we can't really say at this point. That might be the one that is the exception to the rule. But look at Titanfall, 2013's E3 game of show. You can't deny it. It was huge. Infamous Second Son was pretty much second there. But Titanfall, next time I saw it, it was the same game, same level, same everything. Maybe it looked a little worse than it did before. Then you found out it was 6 versus 6 with a ton of bots on, and it wasn't this huge epic battle they made it look out to be. And the game comes out on Xbox One, and after 2 months it's at 1.5 million, and the price has now been dropped to like $40. So it's selling a little bit better. It picked up last week, the sales wise. And then you talk PC, you're talking 300,000, if that. I think it's like 220. And then the Xbox 360 version, which hasn't even been out a month yet, is at just over 350,000. So totaling about 2.34 million with an install base of close to 86 million plus PC. No way are those sales living up to the hype of that game. Not even close. And then after Titanfall, you had Infamous Second Son come out. That was pretty hyped up. Supposed to be the killer app for the PS4. Got delayed till March. Comes out, and it's like at 1.2 million out of 7 million install base. I'm not stupid. I know this didn't come out on a holiday, but there have been many games released in March that have done really well, and it doesn't always have to be a holiday. But I'm just saying, look at the amount of hype the E3 gave these games. and compared to the sales, and it's not really showing that you have to have a great E3 presentation. And now we'll go to the flip side and look at games that got almost no attention at E3 and how those games ended up. E3 2013, Nintendo does a Nintendo Direct and some developer directs afterwards. They show off Super Mario 3D World trailer. Everyone's disappointed. Almost everybody. Some people even thought it was a 3DS game. Most people didn't watch the developer direct afterwards, saw a little bit more of the game. There's a 5-level demo at Best Buys and at E3, and really focusing on the 4-player. But no one was really talking about that game after E3. Same with Mario Kart 8. Most people probably wouldn't even remember it was at E3 2013. Just afterthoughts, basically, both games. A couple months later, Nintendo releases a new trailer for 3D World with this jazzy music showing off the bright visuals, colorful visuals, the level design, and everyone's like, they took a step back, said, "Wow, this game looks way better than I remember." People started making videos that was just boom, came out of nowhere. It was like it was revealed for the first time right then and there. Another month goes by, they show another trailer. Looks even better, and people are just like, "Holy crap! You know, this looks really promising." Sitting right now with an install base of 6.1 million Wii U's, the game's sitting at 2 million sold, with zero hype coming out of E3. If it wasn't for a couple really well put together trailers later on, if it just went to E3 and came out, it wouldn't have sold crap. So in that situation, E3 really wasn't that big of a deal for that game. It didn't hurt it that it wasn't hyped up. The actual game itself, the quality of the game came through and actually sold people on it. It pushed at least 1.5 million Wii U's over the holiday as well. And that game's continuing to sell, and it's still full price. You might be able to find it for $50 if you're lucky, but it's $55, $60. And as people buy Wii U's for Mario Kart 8 and Smash, they will continue to buy 3D World. That game is by no means dead. I wouldn't be surprised if lifetime it's closer to 5 million when it's all said and done. Now let's look at Mario Kart 8. That probably was even less hyped coming out of E3. They waited till a Nintendo Direct. Forget when it was. They showed a little more of the game. Some of the track design started coming through. The little details. You know, the amazing lighting. Game's running at 60 frames, possibly 1080p. In split screen, it's still 60 frames. People start taking notice. Another couple months go by, we see another trailer. Holy crap, this game is starting to look amazing. People are getting excited. They do a Nintendo Direct. Shows off, talks about pretty much all the features online, shows one last trailer, and now it's through the roof. I mean, it's #1 pre-order on Amazon, just in pretty much every region that Wii U's available, and it's just hyped. And it's like, that's all people are talking about right now. There's not a lot else to talk about. And it's exciting and it's great, but it had nothing, no momentum coming out of E3 whatsoever. Yet now look at it. So is E3 really that important? I don't think it is. I mean, yeah, it helped if The Last of Us didn't have that debut at E3. It may not have sold that much. It might not have sold half that. You never know. But it's not the end all. You know, you have to make a big impression at E3. Like, people think Nintendo needs to have that press conference and hype people up, but really, the way they did it, you know, yeah, they could do more advertising, no doubt about it, but I don't think E3 should be the main focus. Yeah, you got to show your games and you got to get people, you know, at least lay the foundation for that game, for, you know, Nintendo Directs and stuff to follow and new trailers, but I don't think you have to show the best like side of that game and hype, you know, jump up the resolution and AI to make the game look better and then drop it back down for the actual release. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Am I crazy? Did I hit on something here? I'm not sure. I feel like I did, but you guys let me know in the comments as always, and we'll see you on the next video.